Hello everyone, welcome to Deepshikha Bishoyi Artworks. Today we are going to discuss life and works of Vincent Van Gogh. Perhaps the most famous artist in the world is perceived by many as the mad artist, the man who painted in a frenzy, or simply the tormented soul who cuts off his ear. His artistic genius is often overshadowed by those who see his paintings as mere visual manifestation of his troubled mind. Whilst in part this may be true, in reality his innovative and unique artistic style was of enormous importance to a host of artists who followed in his wake. Even when openly influenced by his contemporaries, his art remained identifiably his own, developing a distinctive style that failed to be accepted by the art-buying public in his own time. Vincent Willem van Gogh was born on 30th March 1853 in Groot-Zundert, a village in Netherlands. His father was a strict parish minister and his mother, who was very strong-willed, had an interest in botany and a gift for watercolor painting. Vincent had 5 younger siblings and was closest to his brother Theo. Vincent was a serious and thoughtful child who loved flowers, birds, and insects. His sisters recalled him as someone who would walk clumsily in days with his head hung low. Vincent finished school in 1868 and a year later he joined his uncle's art dealership, Goupil and Say. Based in The Hague, Vincent worked as an apprentice and an art dealer over the next few years, traveling a lot. Vincent had a great memory for visual and verbal descriptions. He spoke French, German, and English fluently. Vincent had a number of other jobs too. He worked as a teacher and as a minister, but at the age of 27, he decided to become a painter. He traveled to Brussels and studied the Dutch masters like Peter Paul Rubens and Frans Hals. Vincent Van Gogh produced his first drawings while staying at his parents' home in Eden, the Netherlands. Schooled chiefly by books on anatomy, perspective, and artistic technique, the artist restricted his first drawings to a black and white palette, believing mastery of his discipline to be essential before attempting works in color. His first drawings of people depict various peasants in static poses, some in profile, while his premier landscapes are largely studies in perspective. In his early pen and watercolor drawings, Vincent incorporated shadow and light rather than color to create dimension. Drawing upon the weighty influences of masters such as Millet, Rembrandt, Dormer, the artist's focus on human figure was critical to his artistic development. Midway through 1881, Vincent Van Gogh engaged in a brief period of study with Anton Mauve, a master in the Hague School of Art. Mauve not only covered the basics but also introduced his pupil to watercolors and oils, thus broadening the artist's scope of expression. Vincent Van Gogh's still life with cabbage and clogs, one of his first paintings, make use of somber earth tones that characterize his early works in the Dutch style. It also features a rich splash of color, a harbinger of the brilliant Wonkov painting style to come. one of the Vincent Van Gogh's early forays into landscape, a genre that would hold his focus throughout his career. View of the Sea at Chavin, completed in August 1882, depicts an active view of the Strand near the Hague. The realism of the scene is actually in evidence on the canvas itself, with grains of sand from the stormy weather still embedded in the oils. The work exhibits elements of the Impressionist school of art with its indistinct yet mobile figures in the foreground, choppy brushstrokes indicating roiling surf, and the dark shapes suggestive of storm clouds overhead. Here's the painting. Wonkov landscape painting of 1883, Bulbfields, testifies to the artist's awakening to the expressive use of light and color so prominent in his later work. In the foreground of the painting, hyacinths in white, blue, pink, and golden hues fill garden boxes that lead to eye toward a distant hillside and a sky filled with white clouds. Shadowed, thatch-roofed houses frame the scene while a gardener walks between boxes in the middle distance. Here's the painting, The Bulb Fields. During a stay in the northern village of Newnan in late 1883 through 1885, the painter focused on agrarian scenes of peasants working the soil and weavers plying their craft. In 1885, the artist produced The Potato Eaters, a work many consider to be his first masterpiece. In this depiction of a farm family seated around their humble table, Vincent Van Gogh invokes the influence of Rembrandt by virtue of the shadowy setting that is nevertheless filled with personality and life. A heaping plate of potatoes illustrates the simple wealth of those who earn their living on the land. The companionable atmosphere, lit by the warm glow of a single lamp, inspires in the viewer a yearning to take part in the lowly yet companionable scene. The Potato Eaters. Here's the painting. Vincent signed his paintings as Vincent, just as Rembrandt, who also signed his paintings using only his Christian name. This is one of his famous paintings, The Tree Roots. Vincent traveled to Paris to learn more about the Impressionists. He also studied newer painting styles like pointillism. The influence of his studies showed in Vincent's paintings. He made friends with the passionate artist Paul Gauguin. Vincent was unhappy in Paris and moved to Arles when he was 35 years old. Once there, he moved into a rickety building he called the Yellow House, which he painted numerous times. After a few months, Paul Gauguin joined him in the Yellow House. However, the two were very different from each other, and their friendship ended when Vincent injured himself badly by chopping off his left ear in 1889. This is the painting of Vincent's bedroom in the Yellow House. After this incident, Vincent voluntarily checked into the hospital near Arles to be treated for serious mental illness. While in Arles, Vincent's paintings became more energetic and confused than ever before. One of his masterpieces from this time was the Café Terrace at Night. Vincent's love for vibrant colors and the atmosphere of Arles made his paintings very intense. He would even apply colors directly from the tube and use rough strokes. His paintings sometimes took weeks to dry due to the thickness of the layers of the paint. This is one of the most iconic paintings of Vincent Van Gogh, the Starry Night. Theo tried to sell Vincent's paintings but was unable to. In fact, he only made one major sale of Vincent's art during his lifetime, a painting called The Red Vineyard. Vincent often wrote to Theo about his constant sense of loneliness. Over 600 letters exchanged between the brothers still exist today. Most of what we know about their lives is taken from these letters. This is yet another Vincent's famous painting, the Almond Blossom. Vincent Van Gogh painted his brilliant 1889 work, Irises, in the garden at Saint Remy during his stay. The painting, which exhibits some characteristics of Japanese woodcuts as well as the artist's penchant for color and light, was part in the annual Société des Artistes independent exhibit in Paris, thanks to Theo's intervention, along with the Van Gogh's painting Starry Night over the Rhone. The prestigious exhibit introduced the artist's genius to a wider audience than ever before. With his illness exacting an increasing toll on his daily activities, the last months of Vincent Van Gogh's life were nevertheless his most productive. Amid gradually increasing recognition for his work, he entered a period of extreme fruitfulness during his final 60 days on earth. Wheat Filled with Crows is believed to be the last work of Vincent Van Gogh. As he approached the end of his life, the artist transitioned to the green and blue color spectrum prominent in thatched cottages at Cardwell. He also favored curved, undulating lines to indicate movement and energy, such as the fence line in the foreground of the painting and the treetops behind. The distortion of familiar shapes, such as the cottages themselves, takes the artwork beyond Impressionism towards new iterations of expression. Vincent Van Gogh was establishing an entirely fresh post-expressionistic style as he advanced towards the day of his death at the age of 37. The thatched cottages at Cardwell. On 27 July 1890, Vincent Van Gogh was shot in the stomach and passed away in the early morning of 29 July 1890 in his room at the Auberge Ravoux in the village of Auvers-sur-Oise in northern France. Although official history maintains that Van Gogh committed suicide, the latest research reveals that Van Gogh's death might be caused by an accident. Today, Vincent Van Gogh is generally regarded as the greatest Dutch painter since Rembrandt, even though he garnered only a very limited following during his lifetime. Wonkov's artistic style had a considerable impact on scores of artists who followed. His works heralded the development of Fauvism, Expressionism, and Modernism schools of the 20th century. Vincent Van Gogh's influence on modern art is extraordinary. Van Gogh did not live to see his talent recognized, nor could he possibly ever have dreamt that he would be an enduring source of inspiration for subsequent generations of artists. The career of Vincent Van Gogh as a painter was short, but his paintings revolutionized artistic practice and styles. The intensity of his vision, his wonderful sense of color, and the extraordinary boldness of his technique created masterpieces that exercised a profound influence on the art of the 20th century. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment and share this video, and please subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more videos on detailed study of Van Gogh's artworks and also more videos on various other artists. Thank you. Have a nice day.